Welcome to Mom Badge Podcast. Here we celebrate the many badges we as moms earn every day. Today's mom badge is
I survived summer vacation! This year has been a really crazy year. I don't think anyone ever expected that we would be going through a summer like this. And even though the events that led to this summer seem surreal, this summer can be so much fun. And today we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how we can still go on vacation, how we can stay home on vacation.
we're going to openly mock New York Times.
Openly.
It's fine. Openly. It's fine.
And we're just going to give you some tips on how to keep sane this summer. Are you excited for summer?
Yes and no. I mean, I'm excited that we're going to have a lot of fun things going on this summer, but I'm not looking forward to the heat so much.
Oh, sister, I know what you mean.
Mm-hmm. What are you looking forward to this summer?
Oh, well, this summer I'm looking forward. We are going on vacation.
What?
And I know. Our summer vacation plans did get canceled, but it just opened the door for a better thing to come along. So,
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, so as of this recording, 2020, we're still in the COVID-19 craziness. So,
not so.
yeah, it's nutso. So, yeah, all of our summer plans have been canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like you, I'm kind of looking forward to the slower pace and the fact that we don't have to do things, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there's no more schoolwork. That's a positive in my house.
Ugh. I think that's a positive in every house. Yes.
There's no stress of having to figure out the logistics of what your kids are doing versus what you want to do and the goals you want to accomplish.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's really great. And you can still have a vacation.
Yeah. Yeah. I think just it has to be a little bit different than what we originally had planned, because we
For
planned
sure.
on going to the beach and that's canceled.
Canceled, yeah.
Yeah, and I actually asked my kids, for this recording, I was like, hey, what's your favorite vacation we've ever gone on? And my teenager, and this is so teenager of her, because last year I wasn't able to go to the beach because I was pregnant with number 4. And I was like, hey, what was your favorite vacation? She's like, when we went to the beach with Grandma and Grandpa without you. If that's not the most teenager thing I've ever heard, I don't know what is.
Oh, we had fun. I was there.
Oh, yeah. I bet you guys had fun.
We did.
And then, yeah, my son also said, number 2, he also said that the beach was his favorite. But then number 3, he said going and visiting family was his favorite because he likes to go to their house and play with his cousins.
That's sweet number 3.
I know, number 3, he can be so tender.
He really can.
Yeah, so I mean, we could go do number 3's favorite vacation. We could go visit family,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I actually asked my child what her favorite vacation was, and you're in for a pleasant surprise because she said it was going to your house.
Oh, that girl. She just knows how to get the most.
And she's super excited because we, like I said before, we are going on vacation, and we had a trip to see all these historical sites, but they were closed for the time my husband can get off work. So we decided to visit you.
Yay.
And I'm super excited about it. And we're going to take all the precautions needed, but it will be so fun. So fun. And I think there's a lot to be said that, hey, we're forced to slow down, but hey, let's get back together with family for a little bit,
Yeah. I think that'll be really, really great, too. I hope a lot more people can really appreciate this time more instead of just thinking that it's hard and rough and only thinking about the things they're missing. But let's think about the things that we can gain from it,
Yeah.
And I'm probably one of the crazier ones that I'm like, man, I really enjoy kind of having her own time, and if it wasn't for the whole homeschooling thing, I would probably homeschool my kids.
If it wasn't for homeschooling, I would homeschool.
Yeah, just because I like having my own time. We can go do our own thing
I see
and
what
learn
you're
about our
saying.
own stuff. But like, I don't want to be in charge. Like, that's just too much pressure on me. I don't want to be in charge of my kids and their education and if they can or can't read. That's just too much for me. I can't. I'd rather
I
just
feel
let
ya.
somebody else who's highly qualified take care of that.
Yes, if I had to be in charge of math, we'd all be doomed.
Yeah.
It's just the true
Yeah.
story. Well, I was actually thinking like a lot of my family vacations and my family summers that I've enjoyed the most were when we really didn't go anywhere or we just explored our state and what we
Mhm.
did.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, you just explored around you.
Yeah, we just explored around us. We are
Yep.
at a point in our country and world where we have a unique advantage to explore what's around us.
Mhm.
Do you have any fun camping stories?
Well, I went camping with you one time and that was a blast. Except for the whole going to the bathroom in the woods thing. I could live without that, but everything else was fine.
You've never lived until you've taught a small girl how to go to the bathroom outside and she has to hold your hands every time.
Wait, did you take number 1 with you? Did I
Yeah,
really like pass that off to you?
you did. But I don't think it was on purpose. I think it was like she always had to go when you were either like taking a nap or taking number 2 and 3 on a hike.
Oh my
Or
gosh.
like it wasn't like this would be a great time to bond with your aunt.
And let's teach her how to go number 2 in the woods. So, like, these are the experiences we could all be having.
Oh, for
And why
sure.
are we going to push these off?
I,
Tiff,
I
that's
don't
a
know.
badge. You just earned the I taught my niece how to poop in the woods badge.
Oh, her and her cousin.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Enjoyable
I taught
experiences.
I taught my nieces and nephews how to use the restroom in the woods. That's a badge. So,
Thank you. I will take it with honor and
uh-huh.
somewhat joy.
Yeah. I think it'll go right next to the I cleaned up massive amounts of poop badge. So, but that's for another podcast. Just you
Oh, so
wait.
exciting. So many things coming up.
So many things. So I actually kind of have a mom hack for
Oh,
summer.
oh
So,
no.
like, if you're like ever not on vacation, and I was laughing so hard because I was on my favorite Instagram page and they had a tweet from someone. And the tweet said, "A pandemic is no excuse for excessive screen time. Study after study has shown electronics are harmful to young minds. I've made the difficult decision to limit my children's iPad use to no more than 14 hours a day, and I hope you do the same." So,
Oh,
and
she's so sweet. I limited mine to 17.
that was at Honest Toddler on Twitter. And oh my gosh, I love that so much because I hate it when there's like this mommy judgment,
Yes.
but sometimes like you look at your children and they have like those bags under their eyes like they've been watching TV for 14 hours straight. That's never happened at my house ever,
I
ever,
don't know what
ever.
that's like.
No.
No.
If you don't know it, that was sarcasm. So I actually made a summer checklist, and my kids, they can't watch
Oh,
TV until they do this checklist.
what is
And
it?
so
Yeah.
they have to make their bed, their room has to be clean, they have to eat breakfast. You have no idea how many times I've like, the kids are like watching TV for like hours straight, and I have them turn it off, and I'm like, guys, go do something else. And they're like, but wait, we haven't eaten food yet today. And I'm like,
What?
this is an addiction, you know? You are putting off food so that you can watch Pokemon, you know? This is not okay. So they have to have breakfast and they have to be dressed in regular clothes, not in
I like
pajamas. They have to
this.
be dressed. And they have to read for 20 minutes. And I'm okay if they like read to each other, just as long as they're reading something. And then they
Yeah.
have to do 20 minutes of coloring or writing.
Oh,
And
I
then they
like
have to do their
that.
chore for the day. And because I don't have my kids do too many chores. I really should have them do more. But then
Nah.
they've already accused me of like having them like clean up too much, which whatever, they're fine. And then and they have to play outside for 30 minutes because I've like, there have been days where it's like, when was the last time you went outside? And they're like,
Yeah.
and it's just for their mental health. You need to go outside and get some sun.
Yes. How would you adapt that to, like, I have a teenager, and how would I
Mm-hmm.
adapt that to
Well,
my
here I
child?
have two more things. So you
Oh,
make or
okay. Keep
build
going.
something creative so they can do Legos or something like that, or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
color a picture or something. And then
Mhm.
they need to help somebody in the family.
Oh, I
So they
love
have to
that
do like an
last
act of
one.
service. And then for number one, she has to practice her French horn
Mhm.
because she doesn't like to, and
Hey, that was an investment. I get
it
it.
was an investment, okay? She's got to practice that horn. So I think this could be easily adaptable for teenagers to just, turn off the internet and be like, you can have the internet back on when you do these things, like read, or even like doing something creative.
Yeah.
Have creative things in your home that kids can like paint. My mom had, when growing up, we had this huge watercolor set, and I painted a
Oh,
lot with that and I
I
loved it.
bet.
I'm not a painter. I'm not an artist in any way, shape, or form, but just have something creative that your kids can do and make them do it, you
Yeah,
know?
have it available for them for sure.
Yeah.
I was just listening to you, and I know, like, one thing that we really like to do as a family is plan trips. We're very
Mm,
adventure oriented. And
yeah.
even though we can't go on those really fun trips right now, at the beginning of this, when we thought maybe by now we'd be able to,
Yeah.
we had my child plan her dream vacation.
Yeah.
And I would think that would be under creative.
Oh,
What do you think?
totally. Yeah.
It's always interesting what they say and how they plan it, especially give them a budget and see how they use that budget.
So my kids actually one time for their creative time, they made their own board game. And
What?
they actually did another board game with their cousins called Butt Cheek on a Stick. This is legitimately a thing. It was the funnest game I've ever played, and I wish I could find it, but I think they threw it away.
It was called Butt Cheek on a Stick.
Yes, Butt Cheek on a Stick. So these are like, again, these are things that we are missing out on if we don't like have our kids have time away from the screen, you know?
Yeah. Well, okay, so I always think of creativity as a muscle.
Oh, yeah. Hmm.
And if we're not using that muscle, it gets weaker and weaker and weaker. And we don't want that creativity to get weaker because we want them to use that to make our world better in the
Oh,
long
yeah,
run.
totally.
So I
Yeah.
love these ideas.
Yeah.
Butt cheek on a stick.
Butt Cheek on a Stick.
I
That was
think
a
that
good one.
it needs to
Hmm.
get reinvented.
You know, well, as we were playing it, I was like, I feel like we could make this a board game and people would actually buy it, because it was like, I think there was something like you were constipated, so you had to like lose your turn and like it, like the pee and poop, the potty humor was just all over this,
Oh,
and it was
that's such a
so,
kid thing.
oh my gosh. And I was so proud. That's the real sad thing about it is I was so proud. Yeah.
Oh my word. That's so great. Oh my gosh, I
Hmm.
wish I could
Hmm.
have played it. I feel really sad right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean,
Oh,
yeah, if you want to adapt it to a teenager, there are so many things you can do to adapt it. Just fill in what you feel should be done before they can have screen time. So, yeah, all of these things have to be done before screen time. And there have been multiple days where my kids, they start playing outside and they just play outside all day. And then
oh,
they
I
don't
love
even
that.
watch TV until like later in the evening when like we're winding
Yeah.
down or something. So that is my favorite day because,
I gotta
yeah.
say, my biggest challenge right now with my child is just getting her out of bed. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not too far into the teen years, so I'm not. How do you get her
yeah.
out of bed? That's the real question.
Okay, so my favorite way has been squirt guns.
Oh, do tell.
I mean, honestly, this has been weird here. Because usually she has to get up and go to school, but now she doesn't have to get up and go to school, and she can do school whenever she wants, and she takes advantage of that. So for Easter, I bought everybody in the family water guns,
Mhm. Mhm.
and they're just filled next to our sink like at all times.
Oh my gosh.
And I can't tell you, it was like the best idea ever how many spontaneous water fights we've gotten into.
That your house is so perfect for that too. Tiff's
I,
house is all
yeah,
tile.
it's all tile.
Yeah. So like that's just perfection. Like
We
I'm
really,
thinking,
it actually keeps my floor pretty clean.
yeah, I mean you just walk along with a towel and just wipe it on up. It's like you get a mopping in there.
hmm
Dang.
And really, we only have one rule, and that's stay away from the electronics. And again, that's super easy because it's like far away from where the
Yeah.
squirt guns are.
Yeah.
But like, we've done it when like the teenager is having a moment, and all of a sudden
No.
we just squirt her, and she's like, "Wait, huh?" And then she just runs and grabs her squirt gun, and it's on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've done it to my husband as well.
Yeah. Has it gone over as well?
Actually, it's kind of great because I'll just like start shooting him in, where it looks like you wet yourself.
Yeah.
And he just laughs and grabs the squirt gun and we just have a fun time. Like, it's like permission to forget about what we're worrying about at that moment.
That's quality.
That's why, I mean, I remember growing up and my mom just spontaneously squirting us with the hose in the kitchen.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You would
I'm
be
not,
in the kitchen and she'd squirt
yeah,
you with the
we'd be
hose.
like eating breakfast, and me and my brother would be like squabbling, and
Hmm.
she'd pick up the hose and just squirt us
Like the hose from the faucet?
from the faucet.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm thinking she brought in the garden hose.
No, 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 no.
Oh,
The
okay.
kitchen hose, which was pretty long.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd
Yeah.
be like, what the? And then we'd like get our waters because we're water drinkers, and we just like
Uh-huh.
try to get her.
Yeah.
And so I just love that I brought that tradition into my family.
That's
But-
quality.
And I got
So,
these water guns at the dollar store.
oh my gosh. I love
So,
that place. So just she'll be like laying in bed and you'll just start squirting her with water.
yeah, I've done that a couple times.
Okay, I'm super curious. Do you think if you gave her goggles, because I'm wondering about my own soon to be very smelly number two. You know, he's only 10, but I
He's
know
almost
that
there.
like smelly stage is about to come. If I put soap in it, do you think it would make him take a shower? You know,
No.
yeah.
No. But when she gets all wet, she wants to go clean off. It's actually,
Oh.
yeah, so that might work. And we have a fantastic sister-in-law who married your brother.
Mhm.
And she said like the best thing to me when trying to get my child clean.
Mhm.
Because it's always like, hey, child, go get in the shower. You need a shower.
Mhm.
And she always goes, why?
My teen has never done that to me.
Well,
In the past
haha,
hour.
yeah, in the past millisecond. Yeah, well, when you hide yourself in the closet, you don't have to hear it.
It's true. I am currently recording from my closet, so it's fine.
It's fine. But she said, our sister-in-law said, and she goes, why? She like turned to her without a and goes, because it smells like a good idea.
I love
And
her.
I use it all the time now.
Yeah,
She doesn't
yeah.
even ask me why because she knows I want to say it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
yeah.
like, say it. I dare you. Say it.
Dare you. So maybe on there, on your summer checklist, you can have, you need to shower.
You need
Like
to
you
shower.
will, I will not give you the Wi-Fi password until you shower.
Rachel, do you want to dive down the rabbit hole?
Yeah.
I'd like to invite all you guys, all you moms out there, to join me and Rachel
Mm-hmm.
as we go down what we're calling the mom internet rabbit hole.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is where Rachel and I find interesting news stories, mom hacks, or just things that make us giggle as we try to surprise each other and you with what we found.
Oh yeah, let's hear it. What is the rabbit hole for today?
So, this is actually from Reddit, and this is going back to family vacations. This is a story, and the question was asked on Reddit, what is your funniest vacation story?
Oh no.
And I
Some
thought
of these
this
can
one,
be so funny.
This one's funny. There's nothing lewd or anything in it.
Hmm.
It's just a cute little funny story. So I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. My family and I went to San Francisco as we were exploring Chinatown and looking for the fortune cookie factory. We came across some Buddhist street players. My mom was wondering what they were all the symbols meant and was thinking out loud. Out of nowhere, this random Asian looking man appeared with a small voice and a thick accent. He told us what the symbols meant. We asked him where the cookie factory was, and he said to follow him. He first led us to a graffiti museum. Then he took us out to lunch, and he explained all the foods and meanings and paid for everything.
What?
I know, this is so crazy. A bit, he led us to a park and told us that the fortune cookie factory was about 100 yards away and that he had to go. Before he left, we asked his name, and he said, "My name is Jackie Chan, not the actor, so I call myself Jackie Chan number 2."
Oh my gosh.
After a small chuckle, he vanished into the crowd. This is where it gets crazy. We explored the cookie museum and bought a big bag of cookies and headed back to our car. As we were driving to the next place, my mom pulled out her first fortune, and it read, "You will be led around town by a complete stranger."
Oh my gosh.
I know, isn't that crazy?
That has to be fake. That can't be real.
In my heart, am hoping that it is so real.
Me too, because it would be funny if he was actually Jackie Chan and they just didn't know it somehow.
So real quick, that story was from Lord Mistrito on Reddit, and I will link the story so you guys can ask him yourself if it was real or false. I was thinking, like, right now we can take road trips.
Yeah.
And it'd be fun to kind of talk about what we can do in the car.
Yeah, what we can do in the car, and even if we do like short road trips.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, if we don't want to have like too much exposure to people, like if we're being overly cautious and things like that, then you could really take like a short road trip to somewhere around you. And I think if you like look around, there's actually a lot of really neat things just in your backyard.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. I mean, we're really lucky that we live next to so many national parks.
Yes,
And
you do.
I've heard that they're planning on reopening those for the summer.
Oh, that's neat.
So if it says, I'm looking at an article from USA Today, and it says many parks have been closed during the pandemic. So before you make plans, just check your destination's website.
So the New York Times has an article about turning your backyard into a vacation spot.
I love this idea.
I do love it too, but I'm like looking at it and I'm like, who just does this? You know, we should link it because, yeah, they have like built a tree house and it looks like it's been there forever, you know, and who just can build a tree house in their backyard? And they've got a ping pong table back
That'd
there.
That'd be fun. It's gonna be 111 degrees next week here. It's like, it makes, like, this was a great springtime idea.
Yes, this is a great springtime idea for where to.
But I really like the idea of like going back through memories, and like we ate at this really fun restaurant in Orlando, and maybe looking up the recipes that we tried there and trying to recreate some of that fun night and just talk about our past memories.
Oh, that would be fun. Yes. I really like that idea a lot because you're doing something together.
Yeah, just make it special.
Like, even if you wanted it to be like, ooh, let's do like candlelit dinner or something. You could have like a family night in.
We set a tent up in the backyard, and honestly, it was for the teenager.
Yeah.
And she loved it. But I can't believe how many times me and my husband went in there to escape. We were like, I'm just so sick of these walls, you know? And we just took like our tablet and we watched a movie out there one night, or in the middle of the day, and we wanted to take naps. We went out there with our books, and it was like we were camping because it was a new space that we hadn't been forced to be in forever. And the teenager slept in it for 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
I'm serious. She loved that thing. She'd still be out there if it wasn't like 1,000,000 degrees outside.
Like building a fort inside your house. That's another super great idea. That's a great summer activity.
Or you can turn your kitchen table into a fort. If you don't have space,
yeah.
you just put a blanket over that and make it a special night.
Tell us your favorite summer vacation stories or your favorite trips you've gone on with your family, or share us some of your great ideas that you have as we're kind of quarantining this summer. Like what are some of your vacation plans this summer?
I also want to know, what is your most hilarious vacation story? And we'll share it on our Facebook page, so we can all enjoy it together, and we'll share ours too, because we have some doozies.
All right. Also, don't forget to tell your friends, hit the subscribe button, and leave a review so other fantastic moms just like you can find our podcast too.
So moms, as we leave you this week, hold your cookie dough high.
And wear those mom badges proud as we salute you and all the hard work you do.
Be sure to come back next week on Mom Badge Podcast
and find out what badge you've earned.
This week we earned...
Well, I think we've earned our summer vacation badge.
Yay!
Yay!
See you next week on Mom Badge Podcast.